बेल्जियमचा एक तरुण तो कामानिमित्त भारतात आला आणि इथे आल्यानंतर तो भारताच्या प्रेमात पडला. तो हिमालयामध्ये फिरू लागला. काही दिवस हिमालयामध्ये फिरल्यानंतर तिथे त्याच्या मित्रांकडून त्याला शिवाजी महाराजांबद्दल माहिती कळाली. शिवाजी महाराजांबद्दल त्यांच्या शौर्याची कथा ऐकल्यानंतर तो शिवाजी महाराजांच्या देखील प्रेमात पडला आणि त्याने हे प्रेम त्याचं सिद्धही करून दाखवलंय. अवघ्या 2 महिन्यांमध्ये, फक्त 2 महिन्यांमध्ये त्याने 200 गड किल्ले पालथे घातले. आणि आज याच पीटर बरोबर आपण गप्पा मारणार आहोत आणि जे प्रश्न तुमच्या आणि माझ्या दोघांच्याही मनात आहेत त्या सर्व प्रश्नांची उत्तरं घेणार आहोत. चला तर मग बोलूयात पीटर सोबत. पीटर, when you came to India, what was your first thought about India?
Yeah, so when I came like in 98, almost 22 years back, I came on a work assignment, but very soon I kind of got out of office and I started exploring the natural beauty of India, right? There's so much of diversity, the Himalayas, the high mountains of the Himalayas, the jungles of South India, the Western Ghats, the deserts of Rajasthan. Very quickly I was exploring the whole of India on my bike. Later over the years it would change to cycling and then eventually hiking and then actually started running in the recent years.
Okay, then when you came to know about Shivaji Maharaj, then what was your first thought about Maharashtra?
Yeah, so I gave a talk in the Himalayan Club about my trip to the high passes in the Himalayas in the Himalayan Club in Mumbai in February 2019. So then a couple of friends took me to some of the forts like Singat, Rajgat, Torna and some of the forts. AMK was there, beautiful. So immediately I was overwhelmed by the grandeur of these forts, these impregnable fortresses, and also the human structures that had been on top to fight off the repeated invasions of the Mughal. How Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was able to kind of defend Maharashtra against these huge armies by using these very strategic places.
The motivational factor behind this?
Yeah, so I'm driven by nature. So if you look at my website, I maintain a website called ultrajourney.org where I document all the maps, photos, videos, movies we create on this. So it's actually as a journey towards nature. I think all of us as modern human beings, we have been disconnected. We're sitting in offices, we're sitting in traffic, we're sitting in air-conditioned buildings, concrete cities, a lot of pollution, a lot of stress, schedule. So going back to nature, kind of restoring that raw primal connection with nature gives you so much of positivity. If you run like months, thousands of kilometers in the mountains, you detox your body, you get like a very meditative, peaceful experience for the mind, and you kind of enrich your soul with beautiful nature and also a lot of humanity there. The people of the mountains still show a lot of hospitality, which we all lost in the cities. In the cities, everyone is busy with money, and work.
How did you plan this whole thing, like selecting the forts, which to visit first, and all these things?
Yeah. So when I came back from spending the entire summer in the Himalayas, May to September, Uttarakhand, Himachal, Ladakh, I was actually looking for a good place to go again for a couple of months. I'm a free man. I quit my work, so I'm now full-time available into travel and running around the place. So I was looking at like one mountain range. I love the mountains. I don't like traveling in the plains and the cities. I like to go to more remote places, non-touristic places. So when I looked at the map of South India, because most of North India is cold and frozen and snow, then I saw actually that in Maharashtra there are quite a few forts there. So I started plotting the forts on all like a big Google map, ended up with some 200 forts, studied how to climb from the base village to the top of the forts, and eventually, within 1 or 2 weeks, had the map, came over from the train from Chennai, went to Lonavala, and then I started running from Lonavala to Bhima Shankar Nanegat to Bandardara, Harish Chandragat. The first 50 forts I traveled by foot on running. And then the next 150, those were a little spread out, like Nasik, Mumbai, Pune, Satra. So that would have taken like maybe 6 months. So to wrap it up in 2 months, those 200 forts, I took a bike from a friend in Pune and I started biking between the forts, climb up, bike to the next one. So within that, I was able to complete some 6 to 8 every single day, morning till evening. and yeah, finished those 200 in just 2 months.
We wanted to know what the secret of your fitness and such.
The secret of my fitness is actually consistency. I would say I've been hiking for like a decade as part of the Chennai Trekking Club, our big outdoor group in Chennai, which I founded in 2008. It has grown to almost 40,000 people. It's a non-profit, non-commercial group where we connect with like-minded people and we explore the wilderness, the jungles of Andhra, Karnataka, Kerala. So a lot of experience there, going out every single weekend of the year. And then in the recent years, since 2013, I started running small runs, then half marathon, then ultra marathons where you run like 150 kilometer non-stop, two nights and 2 days. So that consistent kind of sports activities got me to my fitness level. And then more recently, right, when you go to like very remote places in the Himalayas, there it's more beyond physical. It's more like a mental kind of thing, going solo there in like undocumented places, following shepherds. So that's more like, I would say, like a mental kind of determination that gets you to these very extreme places at 5,000-6,000 meter altitude.
Peter, you follow a minimalistic lifestyle.
Correct, yeah.
So how did you manage all those things, the food, the stay, the historical place, and how you managed all those things?
Yeah, so actually as a runner you automatically go minimalist because every 100 gram you carry with you is like a burden you can make. As a runner you're not going slow, you have to go a little fast. And one other thing that I also learned after quitting the job and kind of spending most of my life in the mountains is that you don't need much in the mountains. So everything is there, water is there. You'll find shelters, shepherds, mountain tribes to stay with. Food you pick up along the villages, so you don't have to carry much ration with you. And then also, if you look at my backpack, like in the Sahyadris, I hardly carried 1 or 2 kg of basic luggage, which is basically a mat to sleep on if I end up in a jungle or in a fort or in a temple of a village, with a small sleeping bag because it's winter, it's a little bit chill. And then, if needed, I have a small bivy, which is like a waterproof mummy tent that protects me from the rain and the weather elements, and also like reptiles and if I camp in the jungle.
So just now you said ki the food you manage from the villagers or the local people.
Yeah.
So was there a language barrier, like their language and your language?
That's a good question. Yeah, so I did a run in Vietnam, 2,000 kilometers, like last year. I ran in the Himalayas, right, which is Hindi, the language. Nobody speaks much like English, like in Tamil Nadu, which is my home base. But language is actually not a barrier. Once you end up in a village at the end of the day, quickly looking at somebody's face, once you see that smile, you have that connection immediately. You don't need to speak words. You ask for some water, or you tell them I've been coming from that place. Once they understand you're like a solo traveler, having gone through like hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, you get a lot of respect, and people actually feel obliged or even honored to host you. So they take you in. Sometimes you get a hot, warm shower. Sometimes you get like some good foods, nutritious foods, and proper rest, which keeps you going for like days and days altogether.
What all books you read about Chhatrapati Shivaji?
I haven't read books yet. I'm not much of a book person, but as I started visiting fort by fort by fort, I got to meet quite a few other trekkers along the way, especially on the more touristic forts, where people shared me the stories about, hey, this was the capital, this was the birthplace, this is where his father ruled, this is where this important battle, Panhala, Pratapgarh, was fought. So little stories I picked up. Eventually I was donated like a nice book in English on the whole history of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But he's there in the hearts of everyone, right, in Maharashtra, so everyone shares, and then they also see you as somebody, who kind of visits, walks in the footsteps of Chhatrapati Shivaji, so that you get a lot of respect and from the people in heading out there. Many people hardly visit 5 to 10 forts, and 200, I think nobody can do it in a lifetime, mostly.
So how was your Sahyadri trip?
Yeah, I think it's unique in from three dimensions, I always say. One is the natural thing, which drives me, the beautiful nature of this part of the Western Ghats. It's quite unique because you have these ancient volcanoes which give rise to these very steep walls, which were strategic for fighting wars and opposing those large armies. Secondly, of course, the rich history. Every fort has that unique history behind it. Some birthplaces, some battles were fought. You find those ancient rock-cut steps, 400 years old, weathered through 400 monsoons, broken down by some of the opposing armies. And the third angle is that hospitality, that warm hospitality, which you find not in the cities, but in these remote villages at the base of the Sahyadris, where people are so welcoming and warm. So that makes it unique. It's like more than just a hike or a trek. It's like a full experience.
How much was your budget for this trip?
Now my budget is standard. There's no hotel stay. There is no motorized travel. I always run. Once you get in the mountains, there's nobody who wants your money actually. So, but eventually you end up buying some food here and there, like 50 rupees for a plate of bakri or momos in the Himalayas. You eat 2-3 times a day, and hardly your expense is like 200 rupees a day or 5,000 rupees in a month. I crossed 120 passes this summer in the Himalayas for 5 times, say, 5K times 4 is 20,000 rupees, which most people spend on a single pass. I ended up paying like 200 rupees per pass, which I think nobody would have done before. So life is cheap. I mean, just step out of the city and nobody is there actually. They don't want your money. They will receive you with open arms as a solo traveler from outside, visiting those remote places where no other tourists go.
What are your future plans?
Yeah, so I mean, as of now, I have a long, the Indian Himalayas like Uttarakhand, Himachal, Ladakh, Sanskar, J&K. It's quite big, so I can go there for the next 1 decade, finish 100 passes, new passes every summer. So that will be my favorite destination because I lost my heart in that place. The nature is so overwhelming. It's the roof of the world, right? So nowhere else in the world you get those kind of majestic rock formations and mountains like Zanskar, Ladakh. If you're walking on a different planet. And then again, that combined with the fact that you have all the villages. Beyond the villages, you have the Gujar, the mountain tribes. Beyond the Gujars, you have the shepherds staying there with thousands of sheep in the mountains. Staying with those people, getting fresh, nutritious foods, looking at the Milky Way in the sky, the dark skies, feeling the warmth of a campfire. So that's like a unique experience. And the fact is that you don't know, you're exploring, you don't know the route, you have never gone to that pass, it's not touristic, it's not marked. You have to find your way. You don't know how you will get there, you don't know where you're going to sleep the next day. So that makes it very thrilling and adventurous. It's like life becomes an adventure almost. But on an average, I easily do some 6 to 8 forts a day. I go light, so I am fast. Then I go from early morning, sunrise till sunset. Minimize stops along the way. Even I will skip lunch if needed, just to have one more fort. And then again in the night, after it's dark, I typically travel to the base of the next fort, so that next morning I'm ready to go up, do all my charging of my guides and my eating my dinner, do it in the evening, so that I maximize the day actually. So that's how I was able to do those 200 forts in just 2 months.
Recently, you have shared a photo of crowded Sundan Valley.
Yeah.
Do you think marketing on these historic places will affect the nature and feel the importance of these places?
Well, of course, we deal with the problem that we have a huge population in India. I think if you look at like Europe, where people hike frequently to like say the Alps, Switzerland, and so you don't have the problem because there are not that many people. Also, I only see like 1 out of 100 people is really interested to go out in nature. But unfortunately, yeah, many of the people who go and they don't know how to go there. So typically they follow the commercial groups. The commercial groups standardize on a few places which are very popular on the social media, like Sandan Valley, AMK, Lingana. So there you can see hundreds or even thousands of people in the weekend, which according to me is not what you want to do, right? You don't want to go from a city with thousands of people to one place with thousands of people. You want to go there to find some peace of mind and some rest. And I can tell you out of 200 forts, I think there are only 10 which are very touristic. All the rest people don't know, they haven't gone there. So those are all like not visited. Rather than everyone going to the same thing, it should be like people should spread out. So these few places get not ecologically impacted by the number of people. And then also education is important. I see so many plastic wrappers of Balaji wafers. I see people writing on walls. I see people drinking, shouting, playing music. So a little bit of education is needed. Those kind of things you're not going to find in Europe where you meet nature lovers. Here it's I would say 99% of the people who go in the mountains are not going as a true hiker, as a nature lover, as like a journey into the mountains, but more like just as a picnic, having fun, making noise, leaving sometimes a trail of plastic behind, unfortunately. So education is the key, I think.
What are the next plan after Himalaya and Maharashtra?
Yeah, so I mean, the world is a big place. I want to go to. I met a lot of Europeans in summer in the Himalayas who suggested go to like some of the old Soviet provinces like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. I want to definitely go back to Vietnam where I ran 2,000 kilometers last year. Amazing place, very big also, 2,000 kilometers north to south. Anything non-touristic like say Cambodia, Myanmar, some non-touristic places of Indonesia. Southeast Asia is my preferred place because it's not that expensive and developed as the US or Europe. So there you still find a lot of virgin mountains and people who are like very hospitable and innocent, which makes the journey beautiful.
What is the Maharashtrian food you like the most? Like,
My favorite, I think most people know, is bakri and pitla, which I tasted first on Harishchandra. So there we ended up somewhere. It was still raining end of October. Nice sun was setting down. So normally I go back to the base village to charge my phone and eat. But there we were in the evening, so we decided to stay. The view is beautiful, right, from the Konkan onto the Konkan plains. So and there, like one little boy in the hut in the village was preparing that thick bakri. It's not the rice bakri, but the thick one, which is a little bit tricky. It easily breaks, like a very thick one. You just eat two, and then you dip it in that pitla.
Pitla is quite spicy, so is it okay for you to manage all
Yeah,
those?
so the stomach after 2 decades in Tamil Nadu and Chennai has been quite used to spicy food.
So, what will be your message for young people?
Young people, I would say, get out there. Life is short, right? Don't feel bad. Say once you are too old to do these kind of treks in nature, that you're gonna die with dreams instead of memories, as my tagline says. But yeah, young people, it's important. I mean, in modern day life, everyone has become so stagnant. We're sitting in offices, we're sitting at home, we're sitting on the bike or the car. We order Swiggy food on the phone. We don't even go out to eat anymore. So it's like a modern day disease. It kills you in the long run. Not having physical activity. Physical activity is so much important to keep your body healthy and fit. And should at least spend one weekend, I think, every month in the mountains. Have a daily routine, 3-4 times a week. Do something, whatever it is. Go for a jog, a swim, a cycle run. Go for a Zumba, go for a badminton class. Those things will keep you healthy and fit in the long term, and those will have a very positive impact in any aspect of life. Quality sleep, you'll eat better, you'll feel better, you'll sleep better. Everything will become better with a little bit of physical activation of your body, which has become almost like a dead body without movement.
Which one is your favorite place?
Difficult to say. All these 200 forts were unique. I can go to any fort and I'll feel happy, not just one place. Same with the passes. All the passes are unique.
But some kind of a special place.
Well, like one area I would say, not place, is like Bandardara near Nasik. There you have AMK, Ratanghat, and so many other nice peaks. So any big place, I think, which is disconnected from highways, roads, and cities, that's where you can walk through the jungle, connect from one hill to the other. Those are the places to be.
Any special memory regarding the fort or regarding the people or regarding any incidents like
one nice incident was somewhere, say, during the I think 48 or 49 forts of my initial run between those initial 50 forts was that I ended up somewhere from Old Mahabaleshwar. I went down, had some big lakes there which eventually give birth to the Krishna River, which flows to Karnataka. So there actually, I was waiting for a bus to go to the other side of the lake, which would have taken me quite some time, maybe some 20 kilometers, 1 hour. So instead of waiting for the bus, I just packed up my luggage in like a plastic bag and just swam across the lake, which was like a nice experience.
On the way from Kamalghat to Raireshwar, came across a small obstacle. I think about 2,000 meters of water here. Beautiful lake. So nice opportunity to skip the bus, 20-kilometer bus route ride around the lake and simply pack up my luggage in my 15-liter dry bag and swim across crystal clear water, beautiful sunset behind me, amazing place for a refreshing dip / swim to my next destination, Raireshwar, where Shivaji took the oath at the age of 13. So I thought this is the least we can do. Alright, there we go.
Any quality of Shivaji Maharaj that has inspired you and you loved it the most?
Yeah, I think unlike many of the modern day rulers or leaders, he was a very simple person, like a man of the people, I would say. He did not enrich himself. He was like very plainly dressed also. So he was like somebody who stood up for his people. I think the fact that we're all born, I think every human soul is born free on the planet. Nobody should be ruling you or extracting taxes or whatever. So I think he defended our basic human rights, and the way, the bravery and the strategy he used building those forts on impregnable pinnacles, unable these 10, 20, 30, 40,000 Mughal armies unable to capture those forts. The Europeans with all their technological might not able to capture those. So that was an amazing feat of Chhatrapati.
Which is your favorite Marathi word?
Yeah, namaskar, I guess. So. I used to go to a place for a talk and say namaskar karat to.
You speak a nice Marathi. So can you speak a sentence for me?
Yeah, if you tell me, can repeat it.
Ask me my name, for example. You know?
I don't know the words, but if you
Okay.
tell me, I can repeat it at least.
Okay, just repeat it की काय नाव आहे तुझं? काय नाव आहे तुझं?
Kai na ate huzo.
काय नाव आहे तुझं?
Kai na hate huzo.
Okay, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a couple of scripts, I guess, as I went for talks in cities, and yeah, I get kind of the hang of it.
What are your spiritual aspects about
Traveling and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I prefer going myself solo because I think it's unique. I mean, as a solo traveler, you can really connect much deeper with your surroundings, your environment, rather than chit-chatting with 2-3 friends that join you along the way. You feel totally free. You decide when to stop, where to go, where to stay, what to eat, when to do it. So and being alone, especially in the mighty Himalayas, where the landscape is so out of this world, so overwhelming, you feel so small. It deeply hits you. I mean, it's initially a little overwhelming, scary to be alone, like 2-3 days from any human settlement. Nobody is there except maybe wildlife, bears and snow leopards. And then those big glaciers, big moraines, which stretch out to the horizon. You feel like you're actually lost on another planet. After overcoming that initial kind of fear, then you kind of get overwhelmed with a deep sense of internal peacefulness, which really feels like it's a little bit spiritual, as you were asking. So those are like really nice experiences, which you can never experience anywhere in the city, of course, because you get constantly interrupted by WhatsApp messages or horns of cars or people. So going there really is like a really, I mean, refreshing experience for the mind, detoxing for the body. Really, you drink natural waters, you breathe fresh air unpolluted. You get to meet a lot of like beautiful people, innocent people who have not lost their soul to the money in the city. So it's like a pure trip that purifies your soul and I mean gives you a lot of peacefulness for the mind, which is I guess every human being is probably looking for something similar.
what are you going to give them a message?
Yeah, so I mean the message is kind of simple. Go out there. I mean, get out of the cities, get out of the touristic places, and visit some of these like tribal places, these remote places where you'll find people living very simple, very close to nature, very sustainable. Young kids playing with very primitive toys in the villages, but being very happy rather than the kids in the city who have smartphones, PlayStations, look at TV, busy with social media. But those kids will not be healthy physically or happy mentally. People who are very less materialistic will be much happier. They live healthier. They farm their own foods. They eat organic food. They breathe fresh oxygen. They drink fresh water from the rivers in the mountains. So even though they are materialistically speaking very poor, they are very rich in terms of any other aspects. So live simple, basically. Live minimalistic, live simple, and live sustainable with nature, because without a healthy environment and without nature, we are anyway gonna hit the wall. Nobody can survive if our environment is not healthy.